Scientists just figured out how to use a dead mosquito as a 3D printer. And in another lab, researchers are listening to the ground like it's a concert, using microphones to hear the dirt sing. If the future of the planet sounds weird, that's because it is. But these unique innovations are what's helping solve the world's biggest environmental problems. Welcome back to Global Positive News. If you're new here, this is where we cover the stories each week that bring a smile to your face and shine a light on the good in the world. Today, we've got 6 innovations that sound completely made up. Tree planting robots, deserts turning green because of solar panels, and a filter that destroys forever chemicals 100 times faster than anything before it. Stick around for that last one, because if you've ever worried about what's in your drinking water, you're going to want to hear it. So with that being said, grab a cup of tea, sit back and relax, and listen in on these 6 incredible environmental innovations that could change the world in 2026. In Portugal, 2 young engineers are building a robot that plants trees on burned land, and it looks like something out of a sci-fi movie. The robot is called Trovador. The first version walks on 6 legs like a spider. The middle legs grip seedlings from a tray and plant them directly into the soil. The back legs press the dirt down to secure them. But the full-scale version they're building now is shaped like a dog. It can climb steep terrain that humans can't reach. It adjusts how it plants based on real-time soil conditions, and it plants around 200 trees per hour completely on its own. Why does this matter? Since 2000, Portugal has lost more than 50% of its forest cover. Globally, forest loss jumped 80% in 2024 alone, mostly from wildfires. Traditional reforestation can't keep up, but a robot that never gets tired, doesn't need breaks, and climbs mountains to plant trees, that might actually stand a chance. And speaking of things that seem backwards, here's something that doesn't sound right at first. Building massive solar farms in the desert is actually making the desert greener. A team of researchers in China studied one of the largest solar parks in the world, located in a high-altitude desert called Gonghe. What they found surprised everyone. Inside the solar farm, soil moisture increased. Vegetation grew thicker, bacterial diversity improved, even carbon storage in the soil went up. How? The panels provide shade, which reduces evaporation. The regular cleaning of panels adds water to the ground, and the structures block wind, which protects young plants from being buried in sand. The ecological rating inside the solar farm was classified as general, outside the farm, poor. So instead of harming fragile desert ecosystems, these solar installations are accidentally restoring them. The panels are generating clean energy while the land underneath is quietly coming back to life. And speaking of solar, let's talk about what's happening on the other side of the world. In South Africa, something remarkable is unfolding. People are taking power into their own hands, literally. For years, the country's electric grid had been unreliable. Rolling blackouts shut down businesses, dentists couldn't do x-rays, hotels had to close rooms because generators were too loud for guests. So people started installing their own solar panels, and thanks to record low prices from Chinese manufacturers, they're doing it faster than anyone expected. In just 5 years, South Africans added over 7 gigawatts of private solar capacity. That's roughly a tenth of the entire national grid. Wineries, shopping malls, auto factories, even gold mines are now powered by the sun. One dentist in Cape Town said his electricity bill dropped to a fifth of what it was. His system paid for itself in under 4 years. And because of this solar revolution, it's forcing the government to rethink how they structure their electrical grid, which means that in the coming years, we could see an entire nation powered by solar and giving electricity to its citizens at a fraction of the original cost. By the way, if you're enjoying this, tap that like button and share this with a friend who needs some good news in their life. This next one sounds like a joke, but it's real science. Researchers in Australia are putting microphones in the ground and listening to the soil. Why? Because healthy soil is loud. Ants tap, worms glide, beetles click, millipedes crackle. The sounds are too faint for human ears, but when amplified, they create what scientists are calling a soil symphony. The team at Flinders University found that biodiverse, healthy soil produces complex acoustic patterns, but degraded soil, just flat white noise. This matters because traditional methods of testing soil health are expensive, slow, and disruptive. You have to dig up samples or run DNA tests. But with acoustic monitoring, you could get results just by listening. One researcher compared it to a doctor using a stethoscope on your chest. Same idea, just for dirt. They're now working on affordable recorders so farmers, conservationists, and even regular people can check soil health themselves. Turns out the earth has a heartbeat. You just need to know how to listen. If you've heard of forever chemicals, you know why people are worried. These are synthetic compounds found in everything from nonstick pans to firefighting foam. They don't break down. They build up in our bodies, and they're linked to cancer, liver disease, immune problems, and birth defects. Current filtration systems can remove them from water, but the process is slow, and even when you capture the chemicals, you're left with toxic waste you still have to deal with. Now researchers at Rice University have developed something different, a new material made from copper and aluminum that pulls PFAS out of water up to 100 times faster than existing methods. But here's the real breakthrough. Once the material is saturated, they can heat it up to around 500 degrees Celsius and actually destroy the chemicals. Not move them, not store them, destroy them. The fluorine bonds that make these chemicals so stubborn get broken down. What's left is safe enough to throw in a regular landfill. This technology could change how we clean contaminated water at factories, military bases, and municipal systems. And the best part? The material can be reused with existing filtration infrastructure, which keeps costs down. One researcher called it a potential game changer for PFAS pollution worldwide. Okay, this last one is wild. Scientists at universities in Canada figured out how to turn a dead mosquito into a 3D printing nozzle. Yes, a real mosquito. The female mosquito proboscis is a tiny hollow tube about 20 micrometers wide that's smaller than the finest commercial printing tips available. And because it evolved to pierce skin and draw blood, it's surprisingly strong and precise. Researchers attached the proboscis to a custom-built printer and used it to extrude bioinks, the materials used to print living tissue scaffolds. And guess what? It worked! The printed lines were finer than anything achievable with standard metal or plastic nozzles. They printed honeycomb structures, maple leaf shapes, even scaffolds containing live cancer cells and red blood cells. The cells survived the process with over 86% viability. And here's the kicker. A single mosquito costs less than 2 cents to raise. A comparable commercial nozzle costs over $80. The researchers call it necroprinting. It's biodegradable, it's incredibly precise, and it opens up a whole new way of thinking about manufacturing, where the best tools might come from nature itself. And that's 6 environmental innovations that prove the future is more interesting and more positive than you might have thought. From robots planning forests to mosquitoes building tissue scaffolds, people are finding solutions in the most unexpected places. If this video gave you a bit of hope, hit that like button, subscribe to Global Positive News, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that good things are happening. Stay positive, and we'll see you in the next video.